Hunger is not a personality trait. Hunger is not something you're born with or without. Hunger is a state of mind, and it is the single most important force behind every person who has ever won at anything meaningful. Before the money, before the power, before the recognition, there was hunger. And without it, none of the rest ever arrives. Hunger is what separates people who talk from people who move. It's the internal pressure that refuses to let you relax while your life is still below your standards. Hunger doesn't let you sleep peacefully when you know you're capable of more. Hunger doesn't allow excuses to sound reasonable. Hunger keeps whispering, and sometimes screaming, that the current version of your life is unacceptable. Most people lose hunger the moment survival becomes easy. When the bills are barely covered, when food is available, when the pain isn't sharp enough to force change, hunger fades. That's why so many people plateau early. They confuse comfort with success. They confuse stability with progress, and the moment hunger dies, growth dies with it. Hunger creates urgency. Urgency creates speed. Speed creates advantage. In a world that's accelerating every year, hunger is no longer optional. If you're calm while others are desperate to improve, you're already behind. The people who win are not the most relaxed, they are the most driven. They are dissatisfied in a productive way. They look at their life and say, "This is not enough," and they refuse to accept it as final. Hunger sharpens focus. When you're truly hungry, distractions lose their power. Comfort loses its appeal. Pleasure becomes secondary to progress. You stop asking how to feel better and start asking how to get better. Hunger simplifies your priorities. It removes hesitation. It forces clarity where confusion used to live. Every elite performer has a reason they can't ignore. Some were hungry because they were broke. Some because they were underestimated. Some because they hated the idea of wasting their potential. The reason doesn't matter, the intensity does. Hunger turns ordinary effort into obsession. It turns long hours into normal behavior. It turns pain into a tool instead of an obstacle. People love to talk about balance. Hungry people don't. Hungry people understand that imbalance is temporary and regret is permanent. They're willing to sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term dominance. They don't need motivation speeches every day because hunger keeps them moving even when motivation disappears. If you're not hungry, discipline feels forced. If you're hungry, discipline feels necessary. Hunger makes discipline make sense. Hunger explains why you get up early, why you stay late, why you keep going when it would be easier to stop. Without hunger, discipline collapses. With hunger, discipline becomes natural. Hunger also removes entitlement. Hungry people don't expect success to be handed to them. They don't complain about fairness. They don't wait for permission. They understand that the world doesn't owe them anything, and that understanding makes them dangerous. They take responsibility because they know no one is coming to save them. Look at your life honestly. Are you hungry or are you comfortable? Are you driven by a deep refusal to stay average, or are you quietly accepting a life that doesn't excite you? Hunger doesn't lie. Your daily actions reveal whether you truly want more or just like the idea of wanting more. Hunger is not loud talk. Hunger is consistent action. Hunger is waking up and attacking the day without needing external pressure. Hunger is pushing forward when nobody is watching. Hunger is choosing progress when comfort is available. Hunger is staying locked in while others drift. If you want to win in 2026, hunger must return. Not fake hunger, not temporary excitement. Real hunger that reshapes how you think, how you move, and how you spend your time. Hunger that makes waiting painful. Hunger that makes mediocrity intolerable. Hunger that turns every day into a chance to move closer to the life you refuse to give up on. Most people have been taught that impatience is a weakness. They're told to slow down, to wait their turn, to trust the process, to be patient, and everything will work out. That advice sounds mature, responsible, and safe, and that's exactly why it keeps people stuck. Impatience is not the enemy. Misused impatience is, but controlled impatience, disciplined impatience, is one of the most powerful forces a person can develop. Impatience means you feel time. You are aware every single day that life is moving, whether you move or not. It's the internal discomfort that tells you progress is too slow and comfort is too dangerous. Impatience is the refusal to waste months on things that could be learned in weeks and years, on things that could be built in a single intense season of effort. Winners are impatient with outcomes, but patient with work. They want results fast, so they work harder, longer, and with more focus than everyone else. They don't sit around hoping momentum will magically appear. They create it. They compress timelines by increasing intensity. While others spread effort thin over years, winners concentrate effort into brutal focus periods that force progress to happen. Impatience creates urgency, and urgency eliminates hesitation. When you're impatient, you don't wait to feel ready. You don't wait for confidence to show up. You move first, and confidence follows action. You execute before doubt has time to grow roots. This is why fast movers win. They learn by doing while slow thinkers are still preparing. Most people mistake impatience for recklessness because they lack discipline. Impatience without structure leads to chaos. But impatience combined with discipline becomes speed with direction. You still plan, but you don't overplan. You still think, but you don't overthink. You make decisions, test them in the real world, and adjust quickly. That loop of action, feedback, and correction is how dominance is built. The world rewards those who move early. Every opportunity has a window, and impatience pushes you to act while the window is still open. By the time patient people feel comfortable, the opportunity is gone or crowded. Impatience forces you into the arena while others are still watching from the sidelines. Impatience also kills perfectionism. Perfectionism is disguised fear. It's the need to feel in control before taking risk. Impatience doesn't allow that. It demands movement now. It demands progress over polish. It demands reality over imagination. You improve faster when you start imperfectly than when you wait endlessly for the perfect moment. Think about how much time is wasted waiting for certainty. Certainty doesn't exist before action. It only appears after you've moved, failed, adjusted, and moved again. Impatient people understand this intuitively. They don't need guarantees, they need momentum. And momentum is built through speed. Impatience also creates resilience. When you want results quickly, you expose yourself to failure more often, and failure, repeated enough times, stops being emotional. It becomes information. You stop taking setbacks personally. You stop overreacting. You simply course correct and continue forward. If you are too patient, you tolerate things that should never be tolerated. You stay in situations that ain't you. You accept income, relationships, routines, and habits that are beneath your potential. Impatience refuses to settle. It says this isn't good enough, and it won't wait years for improvement to win in 2026. You cannot move at average speed. Average speed produces average results. The people who dominate the next year will be the ones who compress time, who learn aggressively, who act before they feel comfortable, and who refuse to wait for permission from anyone. Impatience is not chaos. It is a demand for progress. It is the internal pressure that forces you to close the gap between where you are and where you know you should be. When you learn to control it, impatience stops being destructive and becomes a weapon, pushing you to move faster, learn harder, and take ground while others are still deciding what they want. Comfort is dangerous, not because it hurts you, but because it slowly puts you to sleep. It doesn't attack your life loudly. It doesn't show up as failure or chaos. It shows up as ease, routine, and just enough stability to keep you from feeling urgent. Comfort is the reason so many people settle into lives that are far below their potential without ever realizing when it happened. Comfort convinces you that tomorrow is guaranteed. It whispers that you can always start later, that there's no rush, that things are good enough for now. And while you're relaxed, time keeps moving. Opportunities pass. Skills become outdated. Competition grows sharper. Comfort makes you passive in a world that rewards aggression. Ambition cannot survive long in comfort. Ambition needs friction. It needs pressure. It needs resistance to stay alive. When life becomes too easy, ambition loses its edge. The fire that once pushed you forward turns into a warm glow that's easy to ignore. That's how people go from dreaming big to defending small lives they never intended to live. Comfort also changes how you think. It lowers your tolerance for discomfort. Things that used to feel manageable suddenly feel hard. Challenges feel inconvenient. Effort feels excessive. The more comfortable you become, the more fragile your mindset gets. You start avoiding anything that threatens your routine, even if that routine is the very thing holding you back. The most dangerous part is that comfort feels earned. You tell yourself you've worked hard enough, struggled long enough, sacrificed enough, and maybe you have. But comfort doesn't care about your past effort. It only cares about your present behavior. The moment you stop pushing, you start sliding backward. Even if it doesn't feel like it yet, look at how comfort steals time. It steals mornings by making sleep feel more important than progress. It steals evenings by making entertainment feel more necessary than preparation. It steals years by convincing you that steady and safe is better, difficult and uncertain. By the time you notice what comfort has taken from you, the cost is massive. Comfort also destroys urgency. Without urgency, action slows down. Without action, momentum disappears. Without momentum, confidence fades. You start doubting yourself not because you're incapable, but because you're inactive. Comfort turns capable people into hesitant observers of their own lives. High performers deliberately attack comfort. They put themselves in situations that demand more from them. They choose environments that force growth instead of ones that protect feelings. They understand that growth and comfort cannot coexist for long. One must be sacrificed, and they know which one leads to winning. Comfort is why people stay in jobs they hate, relationships that limit them, routines that numb them, not because they don't want more, but because wanting more requires discomfort. Change demands effort, risk, and uncertainty. Comfort promises safety even when it delivers stagnation. If you want to dominate 2026, you must become suspicious of comfort. When something feels too easy, too familiar, too safe, that's your signal. That's the moment to lean forward instead of settling back. That's the moment to raise your standards instead of lowering your effort. Comfort is not rest. Rest is intentional and temporary. Comfort is unconscious and permanent. Rest helps you recover so you can push harder. Comfort convinces you that pushing harder is unnecessary. Learning the difference is critical if you want to keep ambition alive. The people who win are not the ones with the most talent or luck. They are the ones who stay uncomfortable on purpose. They don't wait for life to force them into pressure. They choose it. They create it. They understand that discomfort is the price of growth and comfort is the cost of mediocrity. If you are honest with yourself, you already know where comfort has taken control. You know the habits you've protected, the routines you've defended, the risks you've avoided. Comfort doesn't need your permission to ruin ambition. It only needs your cooperation. And most people give it willingly without ever questioning the long-term cost. Most people have been taught that impatience is a flaw. They've been told to slow down, to wait their turn, to trust the process, to be patient and everything will work out. That advice is designed for a slow world that no longer exists. In a world that moves at brutal speed, patience is not always a virtue. In many cases, impatience is the only reason anyone wins. Impatience becomes dangerous only when it's paired with laziness or emotion. But impatience paired with discipline is unstoppable. It creates urgency. It forces action. It makes you allergic to wasted time. When you are impatient in the right way, you stop tolerating things that don't move you forward. You stop accepting delays that exist only because you're afraid to act. The modern world rewards speed. Technology moves fast, markets move fast, attention moves fast, opportunities appear and disappear faster than ever before. If you hesitate, someone else takes your place. If you wait to feel ready, the moment is gone. Impatience, when sharpened, is what pushes you to move before the window closes. Impatience doesn't mean recklessness, it means refusing to drift. It means refusing to sit in planning mode forever. It means refusing to let weeks turn into months while you think about it. Impatient people hate stagnation. They hate standing still. They feel physical discomfort when nothing is happening, and that discomfort forces them to act. Look at how many people delay their lives waiting for permission. Permission from society. Permission from family. Permission from money. Permission from confidence. Impatience destroys that mindset. An impatient person doesn't wait for perfect conditions. They move with what they have and adjust on the way. Time is the only resource you can never get back. Money can be lost and remade. Status can be destroyed and rebuilt. Skills can be learned again. Time only goes in one direction. Impatience is the awareness of that truth. It's the internal pressure that says you don't have forever because you don't. Impatience also exposes excuses. When you become impatient with your own progress, you stop lying to yourself. You stop saying you're trying when you're not. You stop pretending effort exists where it doesn't. Impatience forces honesty. It forces you to admit when you're moving too slowly, thinking too much, or hiding from discomfort. Winning requires compressing time. The average person spreads effort thin across years. Winners concentrate effort into short, intense periods. Impatience is what allows that compression. It creates focus. It creates intensity. It makes you ask dangerous questions like why this isn't already done and what's actually stopping you besides fear. People who lose are patient with their bad habits. They tolerate mediocrity day after day. They tolerate weakness. They tolerate low standards. They tolerate distraction. They tolerate average results and call it balance. Impatient people don't tolerate those things. They attack problems immediately because living with them feels unbearable. Impatience also kills dependency. When you're impatient, you stop waiting for systems to work in your favor. You stop trusting institutions to save you. You stop hoping things will improve on their own. You take control because waiting feels more painful than action. The world is not slowing down for you. Competition is not waiting for you to feel confident. Life is not pausing while you decide. Impatience aligns you with reality instead of fantasy. It forces you to operate at the speed the world demands, not the speed that feels comfortable. If you channel impatience correctly, it becomes fuel. You wake up earlier because you can't stand wasting the day. You work harder because slow progress irritates you. You learn faster because ignorance becomes unacceptable. You execute faster because delay feels like weakness. The people who dominate outcomes are rarely the calmest. They are the most urgent. They feel the pressure of time constantly, and instead of collapsing under it, they convert it into movement. They don't romanticize waiting. They don't glorify patience. They glorify progress. If you want to win in 2026, you must become impatient with your current level, impatient with your income, impatient with your discipline, impatient with your excuses, impatient with your results. That impatience should not make you emotional or reckless. It should make you focused, aggressive, and decisive. Because when empathy, NCE is guided by clarity and discipline. It stops being a weakness and becomes the force that drags your future into the present. Hunger is not desire. Hunger is not motivation. Hunger is not saying you want more. Hunger is a deep internal refusal to accept the life you're currently living. It's the quiet anger that wakes you up early. It's the pressure in your chest when you realize you're capable of more and you're not there yet. Hunger is what separates people who talk about success from people who take it by force. Most people say they're hungry, but they're not. They like the idea of winning more than they hate losing. They like comfort more than they love progress. They want results, but they don't want the lifestyle that produces them. Real hunger is uncomfortable. It's inconvenient. It disrupts your routines and exposes your weaknesses. It doesn't let you relax until something changes. When you're truly hungry, excuses sound ridiculous. You don't complain about being tired. You don't whine about fairness. You don't wait for better conditions. Hunger makes you resourceful. It forces creativity. It pushes you to find ways forward even when the path isn't obvious. Hungry people don't need motivation because the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of effort. Hunger changes how you see time. Lazy people think in years. Hungry people think in days. They don't ask where they'll be in 5 years. They ask what they can dominate today. Hunger compresses timelines. It creates urgency. It removes distractions because anything that doesn't move you forward feels offensive. Beer. A hungry person doesn't romanticize struggle, but they respect it. They understand that every obstacle is proof they're moving in the right direction. Resistance doesn't discourage them. It sharpens them. The harder it gets, the more focused they become because hunger feeds on challenge, for hunger also kills entitlement. When you're hungry, you don't believe the world owes you anything. You don't expect rewards for effort alone. You understand that results are the only language that matters. You stop asking for validation. You stop waiting for applause. You move in silence because the work matters more than recognition bar. The problem with comfort is that it numbs hunger. Comfort convinces you that tomorrow is guaranteed. Comfort whispers that you can start later. Comfort tells you to enjoy life before you've earned it. Hunger rejects that lie. Hunger understands that enjoyment without achievement turns into regret. Every major transformation starts with hunger, not a New Year's resolution, not a motivational video, not a temporary burst of emotion. It starts when you finally get sick of your own excuses, when you get tired of explaining why you're not where you want to be, when the gap between your potential and your reality becomes unbearable. Hunger doesn't mean desperation. It means commitment. It means you're willing to sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term dominance. It means late nights, early mornings, and uncomfortable conversations. It means choosing discipline when nobody is watching because you care about who you're becoming. Look at anyone who has built something meaningful. They weren't balanced, they weren't relaxed, they weren't casual about it. They were obsessed, they were consumed. Hunger took over their identity. Winning wasn't a hobby, it was a necessity. Hunger also forces growth. When you're hungry, you seek knowledge aggressively. You study, you observe, you listen, you adapt. You don't defend your ego because learning matters more than looking smart. Hunger makes you humble enough to improve and ruthless enough to apply what you learn immediately. People without hunger drift. They hope, they wish, they scroll, they wait for circumstances to improve. Hungry people hunt, they set targets, they pursue opportunities, they create momentum. They don't wait to be chosen, they choose themselves. If you want to crush your goals in 2026, you must cultivate hunger intentionally. You must remind yourself daily why staying the same is unacceptable. You must starve your distractions and feed your ambition. You must stop soothing discomfort and start using it as fuel. Hunger is not loud, it doesn't announce itself, it shows up in consistency. It shows up in preparation. It shows up when you do the work. Even when you're exhausted, bored, or frustrated, hunger is what keeps you moving when motivation disappears. The world doesn't reward potential. It rewards execution. Hunger turns potential into action. It transforms ideas into outcomes. It converts dreams into reality because hunger refuses to let you quit, refuses to let you settle, refuses to let you forget that you were meant for more. Most people think winning is something that happens one day. They imagine a moment in the future where everything finally clicks, where they arrive, where life suddenly becomes easy. That belief is exactly why they lose. Winning is not an event waiting for you at the end of the road. Winning is a decision you make every single day, especially on the days when nothing feels exciting. Every morning you wake up, the game resets. Your past wins don't protect you. Your past failures don't condemn you. The only thing that matters is what you choose to do today. Winners understand this deeply. They don't rely on motivation, they rely on standards. They don't ask themselves how they feel. They ask themselves what must be done. Losing happens quietly. It happens when you choose comfort over effort, when you delay instead of acting, when you negotiate with discipline, when you allow small excuses to pass without resistance. No one decides to fail all at once. Failure is the accumulation of daily non-decisions, daily compromises, daily moments where you knew what to do and chose not to do it. Winning works the same way, but in reverse. It's built through boring consistency, through showing up when nobody is watching, through doing the obvious arcade over and over again until the results compound. Winning is choosing the harder option repeatedly until it becomes your identity. Most people want a winning life without a winning routine. They want confidence without preparation, respect without performance, freedom without responsibility. That contradiction is why they stay stuck. A winning life is a reflection of winning habits. You cannot separate the two. Every day presents you with tests. Do you train or skip it? Do you work or scroll? Do you learn or distract yourself? Do you confront the problem or avoid it? These choices feel small, but they are not. They are votes for the person you're becoming. Winners cast the same vote repeatedly until it becomes irreversible. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is self-respect in action. It's the refusal to betray your future for temporary comfort. It's understanding that feelings are unreliable, but commitments are powerful. Winners don't wait to feel strong. They act strong until strength follows. There will be days where you feel unstoppable, and there will be days where you feel empty. Winning doesn't care about either. Winning demands action, regardless of emotion. This is where most people break. They think success requires inspiration. In reality, success requires obedience to your own standards. A man who wins understands that his life is a direct reflection of how seriously he takes himself. If you treat your goals casually, life will treat you casually. If you approach your work with intensity, life responds with opportunity. The world mirrors your level of commitment. Winning also requires accepting responsibility for everything, not blaming circumstances, not blaming people, not blaming the system. Responsibility gives you power. The moment you accept that your results are your fault, you gain the ability to change them. Victimhood feels comfortable, but it guarantees loss. The future is not built in dramatic moments. It's built in quiet ones. Early mornings, late nights, repetitions, refinement, fixing small mistakes before they become big ones. Winners obsess over details because they understand that details compound. You don't need to know exactly how everything will work out. You don't need certainty. You need commitment. Commitment to show up, commitment to improve, commitment to push even when progress feels slow. Momentum is created by movement, not clarity. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year of disciplined execution. Winners think the opposite. They focus on dominating today, trusting that enough dominant days will inevitably create an extraordinary life. There is no finish line where you stop choosing to win. There is no moment where discipline is no longer required. Winning is a lifestyle. It's how you eat, how you train, how you work, how you speak, how you think. It's a standard that touches everything. If you want to crush your goals in 2026, you must stop waiting for P or mission, motivation, or perfect conditions. You must decide that every day matters, that every action counts, that every excuse weakens you. Winning begins the moment you decide to act like the person you want to become, and you repeat that decision daily until it becomes who you are. Now you see the pattern that most people never recognize until it's too late. Nothing changes by accident. Nothing improves on its own. Hunger, impatience, discipline, and daily action are not personality traits you're born with. They are decisions you make again and again. The people who win are not special. They are simply unwilling to waste time, unwilling to wait, and unwilling to live below their potential. This speech was not meant to make you feel good. It was meant to wake you up, to remind you that the clock is moving faster than you think and the world is not designed to wait for you to catch up. Comfort is expensive. Patience without urgency is deadly. Dreams without action are lies you tell yourself to stay safe. 2026 does not care about your intentions. It will reward execution and punish hesitation. Every day you delay, someone else is taking the position you could have owned. Every excuse you accept is a vote for the life you said you didn't want, and every disciplined action, no matter how small, is a brick laid in the foundation of a future you can't yet see. You don't need more information. You don't need more motivation. You need to decide who you are going to be when this video ends. Because the difference between the man who wins and the man who watches others win is action taken immediately, without negotiation, without emotion, without waiting. Be hungry enough to refuse average. Be impatient enough to move now. Be disciplined enough to show up every day. And understand this clearly. The life you want is not ahead of you in time, it is behind the actions you choose next. And whatever you do after this moment will decide whether 2026 becomes your breakthrough year or just another year you talk about but never claim.